Hi all, I'm Ritika, the Senior Product Designer for Pipeline Execution, and I am going to talk about some changes in proposals for the issues which are a part of this epic that says provide CI/CD analytics and observability data. Today we do have already many issues that are part of this epic, but these were created long back, and the information that we were working with around that time, they were not as elaborate and not as did not have a lot of depth to them. So as we have come along, as we have spoken to more customers, more users, conducted new interviews, we've been able to uncover a lot more information. And so I thought it would be a great idea to first kind of refine the insights so that whatever we propose next should be like should provide a lot of value and impact to our users' jobs to be done. All right, so what I did was I revisited a lot of old researches, customer calls, user interviews. I also conducted some new user interviews. And putting all of those data together, I very critically assessed them and tried to derive some insights from them. So the first insight says reduce the time it takes to analyze pipeline performance. Speaking to a lot of users, we figured that at some point or the other, every organization needs to get their hands on a performance report for their pipelines and jobs. It's not that it's not possible today to create those, just that it is very tedious and a very difficult job because they have to dig into the pipelines and jobs independently, one by one. And it ends up consuming a lot of their valuable time, which is not ideal. We should provide these, like we should keep this information ready for them to consume at any time and also handy. Next is users desire a holistic trend report for pipelines that include the runner infrastructure and environments. So pipelines alone don't tell the complete story. It is only when you put them into context, like which branch are they running for, that tells like which commit is it running for, or which environment did the pipeline run for. Those are the critical pieces of information that add more context to the like to the insights that we're presenting. So those particular data points are equally important to users, along with how their pipelines are performing, pass, fail, etc. Then developers need to look at metrics that communicate real-time status of the pipeline. So developers are because of the nature of their job that they're performing, they are more concerned about what is happening with the pipeline that's running for a merge request that I created or a change that I pushed. So they are more concerned about the health of that running pipeline rather than like, the trends when the data is compared to the past performance. Then lastly, users want to look at metrics that highlight trends and performance bottlenecks. Now, information about pipeline performance can be presented in many ways, but everybody seeks to look at insightful information, something that tells them exactly what's going wrong and what is it that they need to act upon, or what action do they need to take to fix if something has been spotted, if a bottleneck has been spotted. So with these four insights, I would go back and again show like what are the existing issues that we currently have. So we do have an issue around presenting information around pipeline performance in GitLab CI. But if you look deeper, if you look into the proposal, the problem stated, and the user experience goal, this mostly talks about the running pipeline. That means it only talks about the pipeline performance information, but for the pipelines which are currently running. And the proposal was that this would sit on the pipeline details page. Now, this is one, and the other one is show group level CI/CD analytics to GitLab CI users, because if we do not have anything at the high level for director level personas to quickly go to and get a quick glimpse of the performance of the pipelines of the many projects that comes under their groups. Now, both of these are great, but we need to first address this problem at a level where most personas would be able to make use of. So if we present it at the pipeline details level, that means for one pipeline at a time, what we're missing out on is the trends. Like we are not talking about the historical performance information, and we are not talking about the overall, like we are not providing a report which is what the users want at this point of time. So that's something that is more associated with the development team lead and like software engineering lead kind of roles and SREs. But developers would also be able to make use of that information if they get to see like what are the jobs that have been historically flaky or historically problematic. They would be more careful about those while they are working with their current pipelines. And if we show something at the group level only, that means we are blocking the access to the maintainer role, which is what most development uh, DevOps engineers and team leads have. So we shouldn't be we should be very careful about who we are blocking from accessing the feature. Now, keeping all of the information, the insights, the restrictions, the permission related constraints in mind, there's a new proposal that I've come up with which says show project level insights around pipeline performance. And what it says is this is going to, like, this particular feature would focus on providing you a glimpse of what's happening to what's happening with the performance of the pipelines for a particular project, not group, not singular pipeline, but the pipeline for the entire project. Now, it could be something really wide. So how can users use it to their own benefit? So one thing that I proposed is maybe we can have selections for branches, for environments, and even time if like our capabilities allow us to do that. And it would be a very simple report to start with, which would only talk about like what's the success and failure rate of pipelines and what's the duration that each job has run on an average, like what's the aggregate duration for the jobs. And this would also give like some single stat report information about the duration of pipeline in general, the aggregate duration of pipeline. So those are the simple data points that we can start off with, and we can develop them further as we go. I know that this proposal alone is not an MVC, and that's why I'm sharing this video with you all because I need your help to understand how to break it. I would be putting down an iteration proposal inside this issue itself, and I would really appreciate you dropping your comments and suggestions and inputs there. Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much.